This practice that I'm going to be leading you through today is designed to help release anxiety. And so specifically we're going to be working around areas in the body that we hold anxiety, that being our shoulders and around kind of the front of our hips and our abdominals. So we're going to start kneeling at the back of our mat, and you're going to bring your toes, big toes to touch, and bring your knees apart. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you, you can bring your knees a little bit closer, and you can also prop yourself on a pillow or a block just to release any pressure that you're feeling in the tops of your ankles. And then you're just going to take your arms up, lift them up, open out, just to release the shoulders down the back. And then you're going to bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs, and then you're going to bring your chin just tucking in slightly and close off the eyes. So here, just start to bring awareness into the body, into the shoulders. Notice if your shoulders still feel like they're drawing up towards the ears. Really concentrate on that idea of softening them down away from the ears. That sense of space in the collarbones. And in doing this, you want to feel that sense of space throughout the whole of the front of the body. And then bring that awareness to your breath. So as you're breathing quite naturally here, I just want you to begin to bring your awareness to the inhale breath. And as you inhale, imagining that you're breathing in through the palms that you have facing upwards. And on that inhale breath, you're bringing in a sense of space. So every inhale breath, breathing in through the palms up, the breath goes through the arms, into the lungs, down into the belly. And then the exhale just comes nice and soft and naturally. So inhaling, breathing in that sense of space. And exhaling, allowing everything to naturally soften. And now all the awareness is going to come to the exhale breath. So keep breathing deeply, filling up with that space on the inhale breath. But as you exhale, now really bring awareness to the idea of softening, to surrender on the exhale breath. Physically, you surrender, releasing the shoulders, any muscles, any tension in the jaw. And mentally, you release, you soften, you surrender. So inhale to fill up, find space. And exhale to soften and surrender. And then just bringing your hands onto your belly now, your lower abdominals, keeping the eyes closed, but just keeping that sense of that breathing going, that inhale, intentional breath of finding space. And as you exhale, that intentional breath of softening. And you're breathing that intention now into your belly. Inhale into the belly, finding space. And exhale, softening the belly. And do that one more time, filling all the way up, inhaling, filling the belly up. And exhaling, softening. And then just gently opening the eyes, you're just going to bring your hands forward and just come onto the knees to just release through the ankles. So if you're feeling any uncomfortable sensations in the ankles, then just releasing it a little bit here. And then we're going to come back onto our ankles. Now, if you are feeling any tension in the ankles, try to just ride through it with your breath, allowing the breath just to wash those uncomfortable sensations out. If it is starting to feel too much, again, just prop a cushion under your legs or a block and sit back. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift up the arms, lift the hips up. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the hands through the heart centre. Then as you inhale, you're going to lift the hands up, this time stay there. And then bring the right hand down to the side on the floor, lift the left hand up and over. So you're coming into a stretch through the side of the body, stretching through that side, lifting the hand up and over. Maybe you're bending into the right elbow, but there's a really deep stretch through the left side of the body, breathing deeply. And then bringing that left hand onto the back of the head and opening up the heart here. Really reaching and opening. And then as you exhale, closing everything off, surrendering down. Inhale to open the chest, look up. And then exhale, closing everything off and surrendering down. One more time, inhale to open. And then this time bring the hand all the way down, left hand reaches to the left side of the hip. Draw the right ear to the right shoulder and stretch all the way through the neck here and the top of the shoulder. Lovely, taking one more breath like this. Filling up with space, surrendering and softening with the exhale. And then bringing everything back into centre line. As you inhale, lifting the hands up, come to standing on your knees. And then as you exhale, hands go through centre line. As you inhale, lift the hands up, keep seated on the knees. And then the hand comes down to the left hip, left side of the hip, reaching the right hand up and over, coming into your side stretch. So now you're stretching through the right side of the body and you're just drawing the right hip downwards as you reach the right hand fingertips away from you. You can bend into the left elbow, really open up, find that stretch, breathe deeply. Then hand comes to the back of the head and you're going to push the head into the hand to lift and open the heart here. As you exhale, you're curling down into it, surrendering to the earth. Head comes towards the floor. And then as you inhale, lifting the heart up, opening. Exhale, drawing everything downwards, head, forehead towards the floor. Inhale to lift up, opening. Good, one more time as you exhale, drawing towards the earth. And then as you inhale, lift up and opening, left ear goes to left shoulder, right hand comes down, reaching for the right side of the hip. So your fingertips are reaching to the earth on the right side of the body. Feeling that nice stretch through the neck, shoulder draws downwards. Take one more breath here. And then everything back up to centre. Good, and then you're going to bring your hands down, release that, feeling those sensations in the tops of the feet. We have lots of nerves around the feet, so it's really good to just allow the blood to rush back to these points, these energy points. So you can just do whatever feels good, circle through the ankles, tap the tops of the feet, just to find some sense of energy back in those places. And then you're going to bring your hands a little bit further forward, tuck the toes under and come into your plank. So here we're just going to find that sense of strength through the body. Holding postures with strength can really help remind us that we are strong and we can get through times of adversity. So just reminding ourselves that actually we can do more than we think. So keep pushing through the hands, and if you feel like you want to collapse at any moment, remind yourself that you've only got a couple more breaths here, you can do it. Keep pushing the floor away, draw the shoulder blades apart, one more breath. And then you're going to bend the knees and come back into child's pose. And then as you inhale, you're going to come forward, back into plank.
And then slowly you're going to drop through chaturanga. Now, if you need to drop the knees down, then do, or you can keep them lifted. And then you're slowly going to lower the chest all the way down to the earth. Keep the elbows drawn in towards the ribs. Then draw the shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades draw together. And as you inhale, you're going to pick the heart slowly up off the floor. And as you exhale, pull the heart as far forward as you can to release it down to the earth. Relax the shoulders. Then as you inhale, draw the elbows together. Lift the heart up, reach up, look up with the eyes. And then as you exhale, tuck the toes under. Come into a child's pose for a moment with the toes tucked. Relax the forehead down to the earth. And take a moment to come back into your breath. Then when you're ready, you're going to tuck the toes if they're not already. Lift the hips up to the sky and come into downward dog. So don't worry too much about your heels touching the earth. You can take a bend into the knees here. Just remembering as much as possible, we want to keep that nice straight spine. So if your spine is curved like this, you want to take a bend so that you can tilt the pelvis and feel more length in the spine. So wherever you are, coming into that sense of strength through your foundations, drawing up through the hands, through the feet. Everything's pushing and pulling upwards. Good, and then take one more breath here. Then we're going to lift the right foot all the way up and open through the hip. So you're drawing the heel towards the bum just so that you can find some space in the front of the right hip. Keep pushing into your right hand here. If you want to, you can come onto your right fingertips and open up even more, looking under the right armpit. And take one more breath. And then when you're ready, this foot is going to come all the way to between the hands. Now, draw the knee into the chest and then flick the foot forward. If you need to take your hand around the ankle to really draw it forward, then do. And then you're going to drop the back knee down. If you need to pad up the knee here, then do feel free. Keep the back toes tucked under, but just sink the hips downwards. So we'll just take a couple of moments here. You can close off the eyes, starting to find space in the hips. Soften through the belly and remember your intention with the breath. Inhale to find space and exhale to soften. And then slowly you're going to lift the hands all the way up to the sky. Now you'll feel more pressure on the knee here. If it helps, you can untuck the back toe. And then you're going to bring your hands around the back of the head. Push the hands into the hands so that you start to find that sense of opening through the chest. You have options here. You can either draw your elbows towards each other, so you're feeling more of a stretch through the armpit and tricep muscles, or you can open them out. It just depends on what feels good for you. So keep opening, but draw those hips downwards. And then we're going to bring the right hand down to the earth. If you've got a block, place your hand onto the block. If you can't reach for the floor, then don't worry too much. You're just reaching in that general direction, but you can also place your hand onto your hip, reaching the left hand over, coming into our side stretch again, working all the way through the front of this hip here, working into the sides of the body, breathing deeply. And then bringing that left hand down, tuck the back toe under, and then just walk this right foot off to the side of the mat. So now the right foot is off to the side and both hands are in the inside edge of that foot, and we're coming into our lizard. So we're really again working deeply down into the areas that hold tension around our pelvis and our groin and our hips, but also giving space for this belly to soften and we're surrendering down to the earth here. So if you want to come onto your forearms, you can, or you can just stay up on your hands. Just depends how your body is, how much space you've got in your body. And maybe today is different from another day, and that's okay. It just depends how your body feels, and just notice that. Notice how it feels, but don't pass any judgment. It's just about observing and being aware. So we'll take a couple more breaths here. And then press into the hands, tuck the back toe under if it's not already, and draw that foot all the way back. So now we're back in our nice strong plank here, feeling the strength that we have in the body, strength that we have in the mind. And then you can either take a vinyasa here, dropping knees down if you want, coming all the way down, or just simply go back into your child's pose. And take a few breaths here, relax the forehead down to the earth, and just take a moment to realign with the breath. And then you're going to come all the way back up, tuck the toes, lift the hips, work on really lifting through that tailbone, coming into our downward dog. So find that sense of space first through the spine, and then we'll start to lift that left leg and open through the hip by drawing the heel towards the bum. And again, here you can come onto the fingertips if you want, so you can really open up, look under the left armpit. Or you can keep the hand, the palm down. It's really completely up to what feels good to you. And take one more breath. And then slowly we're going to draw that foot to between the hands. So look to where you're aiming to, then flick the foot forwards. Or you can drag it through with your hand, whichever way it gets there, it doesn't really matter. Then placing the knee down, tucking toe or keeping it tucked under, up to you. And then you're just going to lift through the heart here for a moment. Close off the eyes and concentrate simply on drawing that hip and pelvis downwards. Inhaling to soften, find space. Exhaling to soften and surrender. Lovely, and then you're going to power up through those feet, place the hand onto the knee, and then lift the hands up to the sky. Relax through the tops of the shoulders here. Draw those hips downwards. Remember, pad up the back knee if you need to. Being mindful, you don't want to kind of get any dodgy knees. Then turn the pinky fingers in towards each other a little bit. Find more space. If your shoulders are really tight, you can bring your hands wider. So just whatever feels good again. Then bring the hands behind the head. Tip the head into the hands. Open through the heart here. The front of the shoulders. Nice deep breaths all the way down, filling up the full capacity of the lungs. And then we're going to lift the hands up and come back into our side bend. So left hand comes down to the earth, a block, or it comes onto your left hip and you're reaching right hand over. And just taking a few moments here. Always checking that you're softening through the shoulders, that the shoulders aren't up by the ears, they're drawing downwards. And then you're going to scoop that hand back round and then draw the foot all the way over. So tuck the toe under if you need to release the knee a little bit for a moment. Place the knee back down and either remain here on your hands or you can bring your forearms down. So really don't push yourself here. You want to concentrate simply on just drawing the pelvis downwards, finding space through the front of our hips and softening our belly here. It's not about looking a certain way in the posture, it's about how it feels. So just go with where feels good for you. Again, inhaling, feeling that space come in, and exhaling, softening. And that's a really important part of the yoga practice. It's really not trying to strain yourself, because it kind of is counterintuitive to what we're trying to do through the practice. We're trying to release tension. The more we kind of push and fight, the more that we're actually bringing tension into the mind. So just be aware of where your maximum is and go to that place, but don't try and push past it. Be happy with where you are right now. Be happy with the fact that you're just simply practicing letting go. You're going to tuck the back toe under, draw the foot all the way back, come into our nice strong plank again. Take one breath here, vinyasa or child's pose straight away, coming all the way down if you're vinyasing. Inhale to lift the heart up, and everyone meeting in child's pose. Forehead comes down, release through the shoulders. If you want to bring your hands towards the sides of the body, releasing tops of shoulders, then that's good. Just go where feels good for you. Again, checking that belly is nice and soft. And then you're going to bring the hands up towards the knees, tuck the toes under, and come to the back of the mat in ragdoll. So that's where we're folding over our legs. If you need to take a bend in the knees, then do. Take either elbow and just let everything hang here. Now here you can even take your arms around, kind of wrapping around like you're hugging yourself, and just massage slightly into either shoulder. It's good to do kind of one and then the other. Just giving yourself a little bit of a shoulder rub here. Maybe through the arms and the biceps. Take another deep inhale. And exhale to sigh it out. Now we're going to stay in this inversion, this kind of mini inversion, because that helps release pressure on the heart and nourishes the brain with blood. All good for your nervous system. You're going to walk the hands a little bit further forwards. Lift the right foot forward so that it's in the middle of the mat with your hands. And then you're just going to hang here. So you're still in this kind of ragdoll position, but now you're getting a stretch through the right hamstring. You can bring your hands onto your ankle, or another option is interlace the hands behind the back, draw the shoulder blades together and come over. So just take whatever option feels good for you, just allowing all that pressure to be released off the heart. Good, just take one more breath here. And then you're going to bring the hands forward, a little bit further forward than that foot. Lift the left foot up and we'll come into a balance here. So here you have the options of keeping the hands onto the earth, or you can start to draw the hands around the ankle. Now maybe it's one hand just goes on the ankle, one hand stays on the earth, or maybe you play with both. Maybe both hands stay on. It's completely up to you. Just challenging yourself with this balance. Keep lifting the left leg as high as you can, and as you do, draw your body down towards that standing leg. This is standing splits. So keep lifting the leg as high as you can, finding that balance. Again, remember, hands can be wherever feels good. And then bringing that left foot so that it also is in line with your right. And then back into our ragdoll. Now we're in the middle of the mat. And we're still in this inversion. Really reaping the benefits of being in this inversion, a calming way of restoring the body and the mind. Then we'll walk our hands a little bit further forward. So now they're at the top of the mat. And then our left foot is going to come to the top of the mat too. And then we'll come down into this kind of variation of like a ragdoll, but also another posture as well. But getting that nice juicy stretch through the left leg. Again, option to hold the ankle, interlace hands behind the back to create an opening through the shoulders. Completely up to you. Breathing deeply. And then you're going to bring your hands forwards and then slowly pick up the right foot, coming into our standing splits balance. So remember, play with what feels good. This side will feel different. We're not symmetrical. So if you want to bring your hands around the ankle, if you're at that point, do. If you want to just bring one hand round, or neither. But really, because this is a balance, you want your gaze to remain fixed on one point, nice and soft with the gaze. Keep lifting the foot up and drawing the chest down. Relax through the head, relax the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Lift up for one more breath and then everything to the front. So right foot and left foot are both at the front, back into our ragdoll. And then turning the toes outwards, just slowly drawing your seat all the way down to the earth, coming into Malasana, so a squat here. You're going to bring your hands around the back of your head and then just gently pull your chin towards your chest, releasing through the top of the shoulders and the neck. And then you're going to bring your hands down to the earth, the palms facing upwards. As you inhale, you're going to start to straighten through the legs. You're gathering the energy from the earth upwards, lifting the palms up towards the sky, towards the heart. And then as you exhale, turn the palms down and slowly you're just pushing that energy back downwards, softening through the knees here. So you're going to do this a few times, closing off the eyes as you inhale, gathering the energy up, starting to straighten through the legs. Lift the palms upwards. And as you exhale, you're going to draw the hands down, turn the palms facing towards the earth, slowing down, surrendering. And as you inhale, gathering that energy upwards, turning palms up, filling up with space. And as you exhale, palms face down, slowly softening the knees, softening the energy. 3 more times, inhaling, drawing, gathering the energy up, finding space. And as you exhale, palms turn down, soften everything, surrender everything down. Twice more, inhale, filling up. And exhale, slowly softening down. Soften through the shoulders, the knees. Inhale, draw everything up. And then exhale, slowly pushing everything down. And this time coming all the way back down into our squat. Drawing the hips downwards, place the hands down onto the earth. Step the feet towards the back of the mat and come back into our plank pose. Drop the knees down and come into child's pose. So just take a few moments here, soften, really soften on that exhale breath. Using these last moments to just really find a little bit more space on the inhale and find a little more soft energy on the exhale. And then slowly you're going to come forward, coming all the way forward. Just draw the feet backwards, the knees backwards, so you can have space to drop your tummy down. Slowly lower the heart all the way to the earth. Now you have an option here for your final Shavasana. You can either remain on your tummy and bring your hands in front of your forehead so you create a pillow for your forehead, or you can bring your cheek down to the earth, or you can flip round onto your back so that you're lying on your back in the normal version of Shavasana. The benefit of being just on your tummy is that as you breathe, you can just feel that earth beneath you. And the earth is a very calming element. It helps ground us and calm us. So it's just a nice way of feeling that connection to the earth. But as I said, you can equally do this on your back as well. If you're on your tummy, just turn the toes in slightly and allow the heels to flop out to the sides. And wherever you are, just relax through the shoulders, soften the eyes, soften the jaw. Now soften the breath. Soften all the muscles all over the body, the hips, the knees, the feet. If you're lying on your back, just place your hands onto your tummy. So you can use your hands as a way of connecting to that rooting down into the tummy with the energy and your intention. Those that are on your tummy, just breathe now into the tummy, but just watch as that tummy expands out and presses gently against the earth. And as you exhale, that sense that you're just softening and melting into the earth. And here you're not controlling the breath, you're allowing it to come in and out easily, but just allowing the attention to sit at your tummy, just below the navel. And when your thoughts start to wander, which they will do because that's what the mind does, use your tummy, use this focus point and where the breath is going as an anchor back to this moment. Use it as your guide to just slowly draw yourself away from all the things that don't matter right now and to the only thing that does matter, which is you in this moment. Every exhale softening that little bit more. And you can remain here as long as you choose. And just when you're ready to come out of it, you can just take it very slowly and steadily to come out. But you can keep here as long as you want. I'm just going to leave you here to take your time with it and ease yourself back into your day.